Everyone, welcome back to another episode of my immigration journey. I'm so excited to share my experience with you about my adjustment of status. Why? Because I've got my green card within 3 months. That's so fast. But
Don't worry about the time.
as long as your marriage is real, it's gonna be fine. So in this video, I would like to share how I organize my adjustment of status packet without a lawyer or attorney. My husband and I decided to do all this process and organize our adjustment of status without a lawyer or attorney, and then we send it to the USCIS, and within 3 months I've got my green card. It's gonna be a long video, but I hope this video is very helpful for you. At least you've got some ideas how to organize your application. Because in this video, I'm gonna share the details of the documents that you need with your application before you submit it to the USCIS. Let's get started. There are four main documents that I sent to the USCIS. The first is Form I-485. This is the application to register permanent resident or adjust status. The second is Form I-864. This is the application for affidavit of support. The other one is Form I-131, the application for travel document. And the last is Form I-765, the application for employment authorization. As you see in this video, I used the big clip to hold all the things together like this, and I attach the sticky notes at the bottom. So now let me show you one by one of each documents. Started with Form I-485, adjust status. The first thing I include here the letter to the USCIS stating about what documents that we're sending them in this packet. And this letter signed by me. And next, I include my 2 passport style photos and I write my name and alien number at the back. I actually prepare 6 photos, 2 photos for the I-485 adjust of status, and the other 2 photos for the I-765 employment authorization application, and the other photos for I-131 travel document application. Next will be my payment check. This is how I write a payment check, and you also might take a look at the USCIS webpage about how to write a payment check and how to calculate the fee. Remember that the fee is already included with biometric fee. If you don't want to use a payment check, you also can use the other way that you can find out through this webpage. But for me, pay with a payment check is the best. Next, that will be I-485 cover letter. You may pause this video if you want to see how I write this cover letter. Next is G1145 form. This is going to ensure that we got notified via email or message through our mobile phone once our application is accepted. So in this form, I type my last name, my first name, my middle name, and right here is my email address and my mobile phone number. Next, I include here Form I-485. This is the form that you will download it from the USCIS webpage, and make sure that you always use the new version of this form. In the next video, I would like to share how to fill out this form, so please subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Next, I include a copy of my birth certificate. This is in Bahasa Indonesia, which is my native language. So I provided a translate copy right after. This is a copy of my birth certificate in English translation. Next is a copy of my passport. Then a copy of my K1 visa. Next, this is my social security number. If you don't have one, it's totally fine because in this form, you're gonna be asked if you already have one. If you don't have it yet, you're gonna get it along with your permanent green card when your application is approved. Next, I include a copy from I-797 Notice of Action of I-129F petition. This is the form that you get when you apply for your K1 visa. Next is a copy from I-797 Approval Notice for I-129F petition. Okay, next, I include here NVC letter. So NVC letter is acceptance letter from the National Visa Center stating that your petition for K1 visa is accepted and you prepare for the visa interview. Next, I include here a copy of I-94 form. This is a form of your arrival record once you enter the USA. You're gonna get this form by online. And please check the link on the description below about how do you print out on this form. Next will be a copy of vaccination document worksheet, Form DS3025. This is actually the result of my medical checkup that I got before a visa interview. So in this case, US Embassy requires the result of your medical checkup from the hospital that US Embassy recommend in your country. Next, I include a copy of marriage certificate. Then I also include the proof of my wedding, such as wedding photos, traveling photos with my husband, and also the photos when my husband and I visit our relative. Now let's move on to Form I-864 Affidavit of Support. This is the cover letter of this form that is signed by my husband because he is the one who sponsored me. As an affidavit support, he must have an income requirement that is determined by US government. So with this application, my husband submit the form I-864 and I'll show you how to fill out this form in the next video. Then he include the copies of federal income tax return from 1040 for 3 most recent tax years. Then he also includes the copy of W-2s, copies 1099s, bank accounts, a copy of his passport, and a copy of his birth certificate. So that's all the document that we need for the affidavit support. Okay, now let's move on to Form I-131 application for travel document. This cover letter signed by me. And the first thing that you need to know that there is no an additional fee with this form if you submit together with your adjust of status application. Once your application is accepted before you get your permanent green card, you are allowed to travel out of USA for several times and come back again to the USA. In this application, I include 2 passport style photos with the name and alien number written at the back. And next, that will be G1145 form. I already mentioned in the beginning why we need to include this form with our application, and you can go back again. Next, that would be Form I-131. I also will share with you how to fill out this form in the next video. So please make sure that you already subscribe to this channel. Next, that would be a copy of my passport and a copy of my K1 visa, a copy of marriage certificate, a copy of I-797 Notice of Approval for I-129F petition. And the last, I include here a copy of I-94 arrival record. Okay, now let's move on. To the last document. This is Form I-765, the application for employment authorization. This form also doesn't need an additional fee if you submit together with your adjust status application. Once this form is approved, you are able to work in the USA even though you haven't got your green card yet. If you don't have plan to work in the USA, I suggest you to submit this form. Maybe someday you change your mind and then you want to work here before you get your green card, so at least you already got your employment authorization document. So in this application, I include 2 passport style photos with the name and alien number written at the back, and also G1145 form I already mentioned before in the beginning. And then the next, that will be form I-765, and also I will show you how to fill out this form in the next video. And next, that will be a copy of I-94 arrival record. Next, a copy of my passport, and then a copy of my K1 Visa, and then a copy of my marriage certificate, and a social security number document if you have one. Okay guys, finally it's done. All for this document, I put it in a big envelope and ready to send it to the USCIS. Here's the web page that tells you where you are going to send this form. It based on what state do you live in. I usually use USPS to send my document to the USCIS by using flat red box, which is priority mail. So that's all from me today. Please subscribe to this channel to watch more videos about my immigration journey. And I wish good luck for your immigration process. We'll see you again in the next one.